Hey everyone, Kevin Hanlon here. I go by Skyburial on Nugget Bridge and Twitter, and you're watching my VGC laddering series, Spire to the Sky, which we play on Battlespot on Pokemon Sun. So I'm going to be using the team that I ran in Athens, Georgia at the regional this weekend, and I must apologize because we're back after a long absence. I was in the studio for about a week and a half with my band recording, and shortly after that, I had to start practicing and cramming for Athens Regionals, which was the weekend after, and the practice ended up being a lot more intense than I imagined it would be, and I ended up going 6-3 and losing, not getting into Top Cut because I miscalculated a thing on my Trevenant spread, but I went really well. Honestly, like, between rounds 4 and 8, I went completely undefeated. So, yeah, it was a thrill to use this team, like an absolute thrill. And so I wanted to go ahead and bring it on a Battlespot and show you guys what it's all about. It's actually a Trick Room team with a fast mode variant that has a really strong weather option, and Perish Song isn't out against like people who try to stall me out. So it's really fun. I honestly adore every single member of this team, and it's kind of the pride and joy of Team Colorado, who, you know, we all worked really tirelessly to make sure this team would come together, and it produced a lot of results. So yeah, my opponent has a Sand team with probably Sandvale Garchomp. I think I am going to lead with my Politoed and my Tapu Koko here. And then I'll put Golduck in the back. Actually, this looks like more of a job for Trevenant and Tapu Koko. And then I'll put... I have to bring Politoed for their weather setter. And then Metagross actually looks really good here. I really like the look of this. Yeah, I think honestly that this is my best option. So Metagross is one of my Z-move users, and I use it for Corkscrew Crash, which actually KOs like a huge chunk of the meta, including most Garchomp. So once you can get Trick Room set up, it really just does amazing things. And I imagine my opponent is going to lead with his Gigalith. Okay, does not lead with Gigalith, which isn't a problem really. What I'm going to do here is I am going to Volt Switch the Arcanine and set up Trick Room. I think my opponent's going to go for like a greedy, like possibly Inferno Overdrive, or some sort of Fire type move onto my Trevenant. But I don't really mind that. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and Volt Switch this Arcanine. He obviously brought a couple of fast mons. His really slow Pokemon are really only his Gastrodon, his Celesteela, and his Gigalith, and Trevenant does well against all of those. So we'll see what he decides to bring in here. Yeah, I feel really good about this decision. The only thing that really threatens my Trevenant right now is the Arcanine, and this Volt Switch is going to do a huge amount of damage. Yeah, so it looks like he is a Citrus Berry variant, which is good. I prefer not to see the Guava Berries, just because they can be really hard to kill. So, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and bring in Politoed, and, you know, Politoed might go down to the Tapu Koko this turn if he calls my play. Like, he might go for, like, a Discharge or something like that. And that would be really unfortunate, but what I really need to do here is protect protect Trevenant. Alright, and we just see a Dazzling Gleam come out from the Tapu Koko, so I'm not too worried about what's gonna go. Oh, okay, alright, so my opponent tries to burn my Trevenant. That's really interesting. Okay. So now what I imagine my opponent does is I think he switches out his Arcanine and tries to go for like a steezy kill onto my Tapu Koko, just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna protect Tapu Koko and go for a Leech Seed onto this Tapu Koko. Alright, so he actually withdraws Tapu Koko and goes into Gastrodon. Alright, so he brought options. And maybe we see... Well, he'll probably try to burn my Trevenant again, honestly. Oh no, just going for a Flare Blitz on my Trevenant. That definitely shouldn't kill unless it crits. So, alright, cool. So, we're looking really, really good here. I think what I want to do on this next turn, like, I should still do a really, really good amount to this Gastrodon after an Intimidate. I think I am going to... Well, first I'm going to get a Harvest. I entirely believe that this Harvest is coming. Oh, no, we don't get a Harvest, but that's okay because we can use Gastrodon to recover our health. I think he might Protect, but honestly, like, my prerogative is going to be to go for a Toxic onto this Arcanine and Horn Leech the Gastrodon. I should live another Flare Blitz. Oh, okay, so he doesn't... That's really interesting. Hopefully we don't see a Freeze here. Alright, and we don't, so we should be able to take out this Gastrodon, and if not, we should definitely recover, like, enough health to live a Flare Blitz. So, that'll be good. Yeah, Gastrodon just has, like, so much HP, so, I don't really mind. And it doesn't look like my opponent brought his Gigalith, because he definitely would have brought it in by now. And I think we're going to take this Flare Blitz pretty well. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get a burn. Alright, and it doesn't get a burn, so... I think on this next turn... Let's see, what do I want to do? I think my opponent probably switches out his Gastrodon, because otherwise his Arcanine's dead in the water next turn. Oh, we get our Harvest. Excellent. Alright, so I am no longer threatened. Because I thought for sure that I would be... Well, no, I didn't. I am not looking too bad here, honestly. I think I will Scald and Horn Leech. And I really think he's going to switch out his Gastrodon. Because otherwise it's just going to go down to Leech Seed damage. I see no downside to this. Either way, I take out a Pokemon this turn. Yeah, Trevenant's still gonna be slower than Politoed, so, if he, like, protects his Gastrodon, then it goes down to, like, all he'll be doing is selling out the Arcanine kill. Okay, so, let's see. Alright, so Tapu Koko comes in. That's interesting. Does Gastrodon protect? No, Gastrodon goes for a Toxic. Alright, we're gonna... He really wants to kill my Trevenant. This happens. Like, this really does happen. Like, I run into situations all the time where people desperately start trying to kill my Trevenant. Because it just starts getting Leech Seed recovery, and, you know, like, obviously, I mean, that was probably a jolly Flare Blitz. I've found most Arcanine that are physical or jolly, but it might have been an Adamant Flare Blitz. Either way, I live that 100% of the time in the rain. And it looks like we got another Harvest, so we're looking great. I imagine the Arcanine's going to come back in here, but I can KO either the Arcanine or the Tapu Koko with Politoed. Oh, nope, my opponent just decides to bring in his Garchomp. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm just going to Scald this Tapu Koko, and I'm going to make sure I have some turns of Trick Room left. Alright, it's my last turn of Trick Room, and it's my last turn of Rain. So I might just see a double Protect here, and I'm trying to think of something that I can do that would better that situation, and I don't think there is. I guess I could... I don't want to switch in Tapu Koko here, because Tapu Koko is really well poised against the rest of this team should Trick Room go down. So I'm just going to play as though... Oh, you know what I can do? I can Perish Song. Nah. I think that's risky. I'll Scald, and I will Will-O-Wisp the... Oh, I ran out of time. Okay. Alright, so yeah, it's just a double protect. I think. Oh, no. Okay. I really would have liked to get that Will-O-Wisp off, but it happens. Okay, cool. Alright. I'm in a really risky situation with my Trevenant right now. And my Tapu Koko, and my Politoed. I think I am going to... I'm gonna switch in my Tapu Koko here, and I'm going to Trick Room. And if he takes out my, Trevenant with a Fire Fang, then I should still be fine. Because really what I need to do right now is start focusing on getting this Garchomp down. Alright, so it looks like he's just going to go for a Discharge and a Fire Fang. That does an immense amount of damage to my Tapu Koko, yeah, because it crits. Alright, and Trevenant goes down. I do not want to bait my opponent into going for an Earthquake, so I'm gonna leave my Metagross off the field. That crit was really unfortunate. Oh, I forgot, his Tapu Koko's at half health. So I can just go for a pretty safe Dazzling Gleam here, and I think I will risk the Speed Tie, and then I'll go for a... Protect, just in case he wins the Speed Tie. Alright, and he doesn't win the Speed Tie, so we're going to get this Dazzling Gleam off and take out his Tapu Koko. So my Politoed is looking really well poised to take the game here. And we see a Poison Jab come out onto our Tapu Koko, so that's going to take it out for sure. And I haven't been seeing any Life Orb recoil, so I think this might be a Tech Rage Garchomp. How do I play against that? Well, I can pretty much ignore the Arcanine. So I think this turn what I do is I'm going to go for a Corkscrew Crash onto the Garchomp and a Scald onto the Arcanine. I think he probably tries to go for some kind of steezy play here, but I think playing safe is probably my best bet. And I should be able to live a Tech Rage, so... Alright, so he does just go for a Protect. Oh, and a... Okay, cool. So I think we win because of that Rock Slide miss. Cool. So, yeah, that's fine. So as you can see, I'm running an Adamant Metagross with 0 Speed IVs. So it actually underspeeds my Politoed. And I think it would anyway. I think Metagross is like 60 base speed. But yeah, Politoed's the second fastest thing on the field. And it looks like my opponent knows that he doesn't have any way to hit my Politoed other than like an Earthquake, and that would kill his Arcanine. So maybe it's like an Earthquakeless Garchomp. I don't know why you would run that, but yeah, I don't mind that one bit. And now I think I can just safely go for a Zen Headbutt onto the Arcanine and a Scald, and I think Caesar's gonna forfeit here. Yeah. That was a pretty quick game, and pretty fun. Alright, yeah, so Caesar goes for a good forfeit. Yeah, I think I definitely had the better position there. And the reason I went for a Z move and not something that was a little less damaging was because it's the only move I have on Metagross right now that's 100% accurate. So, yeah, I feel great. I feel great about that one. So I'm gonna go and hop right into the next battle, and I think we might start this one off in the 1600s. Because I've been doing, oh no, just right below the 1600s. Okay, cool. So breaking the 1500s is actually really important to me as a player, just because it's like this spot where like there's a lot of variance in between like the sets that people use. Not to say that like upper ladder players aren't creative, but like, for example, like there's not like a single upper ladder player who would run like a flash cannon Celesteela, for example. Alright, and so my opponent is running Murkrow, which is actually, it's been kind of it's been kind of up and coming, but I know that it can't take a Volt Switch, so I think I'm going to lead Trevenant and Tapu Koko, and, I'll put, why wouldn't I lead Hard Rain here? Actually, Hard Rain sounds a lot better. I'll just go Hard Rain, and I'll put Trevenant and, do I want Metagross in the back? Or Muck? I think that, based on the Pokemon he has, that I would like Metagross. Alright, cool. Because yeah, Metagross is going to be a lot better in the against the Nihilego if it's like a weird Mirror Coat set or something like that. Which happens. I mean, Mirror Coat Nihilego is like one of these things that people have used to take out my Golduck before. So, alright, so my opponent just leads with Tapu Koko and Murkrow. I think I'm going to... Oh, wait, I led with Hard Rain. I feel really good about that. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to Hydro Vortex the Tapu Koko, and I'll go for a Scald on the Murkrow. I'm not too scared about what the Murkrow can do offensively. It might, like, go for a Tailwind while Politoed protects. But honestly, I don't mind that, because I think on the next turn that Politoed probably just goes for, like a Thunderbolt, and I can switch Trevenant into that. Alright. Oh, interesting. Alright, so he quashes my Golduck. I forgot that they can do that. And this Discharge will probably take out my Golduck. Yeah, it has been taking out my Golduck. But that's fine, because I get to take out this Murkrow in return, and as a result of that, I get to set up my Trick Room mode pretty well. Because he won't be able to taunt my Trevenant at this point. So, I feel okay-ish about that. I forget about Murkrow's set every now and then. Yeah, Golduck's probably the least useful member on the team, honestly. But, yeah, okay, so my opponent brings Crocodile in. I don't mind that too much. Hopefully this Tapu Koko doesn't have Taunt. If it does, you know, then it does. But, my win condition here is to set up Trick Room. So, what I imagine will happen is that my opponent will go for a Discharge and then a Crunch onto my Trevenant, and that shouldn't KO unless it's like a Choice Band Crocodile. Alright, so let's see how this turn plays out. He could also go for like a Dazzle. No, okay, just going for the Discharge. That shouldn't do much to Trevenant unless it crits. And it doesn't, does it paralyze? No, it doesn't. Okay, cool. Alright. Oh, that might KO. Yeah, that KOs. Okay, I was not expecting that. Yeah, I've never seen Assurance on a Crocodile before. So, I think my opponent gets this one, and that's fine. Yeah. You know, sometimes your opponent's got the spicier sets. I think that I led optimally for my team based on, I mean, he had the Murkrow and it would have taunted my Trevenant. So, yeah, I'm gonna give this one my best. However, if he goes for just a Discharge and another Assurance, then that should, I mean, if it took out Trevenant, then Metagross isn't living it. So, in the event that he doesn't do that, I will crash the Crocodile. Alright, so yeah, it looks like he's just gonna go for the same thing. Really good, really cool play. Yeah, okay. Just to add insult to injury, Metagross gets paralyzed, but, I mean, it's gonna go down to this Assurance, so that's fine. Cool. That's actually a really cool way to run Crocodile. I might consider that. I might, like, try that on Showdown. Anyway, it looks like that's going to be an episode, folks. I hope you're enjoying the team. We like to call it Dank Trees, because our nickname for Golduck is Goldank. And, I mean, obviously, Trevenant is a tree. So, yeah, I had a blast recording this video. It's awesome to finally air this onto the channel. Primitive and my friend Jarek and I, we all built this team on New Year's Day, and so it's been kind of like something that I've been keeping a secret, and it's kind of had, it sucked a little bit, just because, like, I've really wanted to share it with you guys, but, we wanted to kind of treat it like a secret weapon going into this regional, and I think that keeping it on the down low kind of paid off. And, you know, obviously, I mean, I only have 100 subscribers, so I'm not gonna be, like, shaping the meta or anything like that, but, you know, someone important might have seen the video and gotten an idea of how to run Trevenant, and there were very, very few ideas of how to properly run a Trevenant, and I think that we've got the set that I would prefer to keep using, as long as possible. Just because it lives forever, as you saw in that first video. It can live, like, so many fire-type moves, and dark types are kind of rare. I don't see Crocodile that often, and so I feel really well poised when there's one on the field. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Once again, my name is Kevin Hanlon, and I hope you're enjoying this video. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel, and leave a comment and let me know what you think of the team, whether you're new or returning. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay tuned for more Spire to the Sky.